Thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all. We went over to Houston Baptist this past week, and I thought we probably played on overall our most complete game on both sides of the football. We got some things we got to correct, but I was really pleased with our effort. Anytime you go on the road, especially in this conference, you got to understand that there's gonna be, it's a different scenario each time, whatever place you go to. And the environment sometimes affects the way you guys play, and I thought we overcame all of that. I thought we were focused in from the first snap all the way to the last. I thought we played hard. I loved our effort. When you look at the numbers offensively, over 600, almost 650 yards, took advantage of most of the opportunities. We had a couple of them that we didn't, but for the most part we did. Scored a lot of touchdowns, scored 7 touchdowns, or had the ability to score 7 touchdowns, 6 on offense, 1 on Orlando's interception return. I thought defensively, to be able to hold a team like that has been able to move the ball on everybody they played all year long, and for us to be able to do that, I thought we did a heck of a job. Our secondary, our front, our linebacker, I thought all 11 guys who ran the football, it was from a physicality standpoint, thought our guys did a super job attacking the football. And, we turned it over twice on offense. But we got 3. So we got 2 on defense and we got 1 on special teams, which Lorenzo caused the 1 on special teams, and which was, really good to see. We just got to get more of those. We got to continue to get them. But we did win the turnover battle this week, and that was a big thing for us coming in. We had no pre-snap penalties on offense. I was really excited. I was happy about that. So we're starting to see the results that we, stuff we've been talking about. We're starting to see some of the results. Have been maybe not as fast as what we want, but they're coming. So we know we're going in the right direction, and I think that's for us that's a big positive thing. This week we're back at home. Got Stephen F. Austin coming in. It's going to be a fantastic day. I think everything sets up for us to do what we want to do. Have a great environment here. The weather's going to be nice. LSU's off this week. The Saints are off this week. We got a chance. If you want to see college football, you want to see great football, come on in. Come to Strawberry Stadium. So I'm looking forward to that. Stephen F. Austin's a team that he's playing a lot of young guys right now. He's only got 3 starters on offense, seniors, 2 on defense. So he's got a lot of young guys that he's trying to figure out where they belong. You can see him in the last 3 games of the season kind of settling in, especially defensively. They're doing a few different things, and they've been the most productive they've been all season long in the last 3 games. So, I think that it's a team that they're starting to find who they are with the new staff and new things coming in. So they're going to be a dangerous football team when they come in here. So I expect them to play well. We also know that for them, we're tied with them for turnover margin as the worst in the conference. So we want to be able to take advantage of their mistakes and not give them any of our own. And if we can do that, I think we'll be all right. But at the end of the day, it's them. It's a guy that they went into Beaumont and beat Lamar, a good Lamar football team. They played Abilene Christian close. They had an opportunity in that game. They played Nichols all the way into the third quarter in a close game. So they just kind of run out of gas towards the end of the game. But I think it's what they're starting to feel like for them when you watch the last 3 games is they're starting to play a whole lot better. They're more consistent in what they're doing, not giving up big plays on defense and then making plays on offense. So, but with that, I'll take some questions from everybody.
Frank, sometimes the coach can see a game like that coming. Did you kind of see it in the days leading up to the game?
No, I saw us practicing well. I saw the 3 days that we had on an open week. We really practiced well with a lot of energy. I saw last week leading up to the game, we practiced well. I saw our execution being real crisp. When you look at our best games, Jacksonville State, I thought, was a really good game for us. We played well. But we had a lot of time to prepare for them. This past week, we had an open date, and we had a lot of time to prepare, and we played really well. Prior to that Ole Miss game, I thought the execution in that game was pretty good. But we had a week off because of the Bethune-Cookman. We prepared well. So we have to, as coaches, you go back and you look and you find out, are we adding too much? We kind of got started slow maybe a little on defense, on offense against Lamar and Northwestern. And, and those guys played hard against us, but we got to be careful not to overload our guys and just allow them to go play. So did I see it coming? I saw us practicing and preparing well. So you expect us to play, I expected us to play well, which I expected us to play well, just about every game because I think our practices have really been good this season.
You've talked about you guys, when you put guys on the bus to go, they're going to play.
Right.
How much did that kind of help you guys being able to play some different guys this week in terms of winning that game?
Rob, and I keep saying this. We don't just play guys to play. We play guys to help us win. And we played 4 linebackers the other night. Trey and Alexis started, but Herm Kristoff and Alex Huzar played a bunch. Both of those guys played a lot of snaps. We played 9 defensive linemen the other day. And that was prior to the last drive. We played 6 offensive linemen. We played all 4 tight ends. We played 7 wide receivers, played both quarterbacks. We played all 4 tailbacks. We played every secondary person we had because of injury and stuff like that. Dontrell Smith played 62 snaps. He's a true freshman. We're playing a lot of guys, but these are guys that are helping us win and it's creating depth for us. So I think it's really important. And again, that off week allowed those guys to kind of grow, get the reps that they needed to be able to put them on the field and be effective. We're not just playing them to say we got to get them ready for next year. Those guys are playing because they're helping us win. And we're doing that across the board at every position. That's why, when we do it at every position. That's why I thought Chasen had an excellent game the other night. But I thought Cole did some good things too. He came in and did some good. Cole didn't play because Chasen was struggling. Cole played because he's a good player and he should be on the field sometimes because he can help us win. So that's why he was able to play. That's why he is playing. We game plan some stuff for him. And it's like that at every position. And we're doing that because we have to be able to create depth in case of injury or anything else that comes along, anything that you don't realize is going to happen comes along, or just to give guys a break sometimes to get some fresh legs out on the field.
Frank, it seems like your wide receivers have been a constant for you, played well all year. Can you talk a little bit about them, especially CJ and Austin?
Yeah, they did. We had 4 drops the other day, and that's uncharacteristic of us because they've been playing so good. And I think, you look at Austin, he's had a big play maybe in every game this year. I'd have to go back and look, but I think he's been, from a go-to standpoint, a home run guy for us. And then CJ's our leading receiver, So when he's a guy that's, from a consistency standpoint, I think he's a guy that you can always count on him. But you watch those 2, Jim, both of those guys are, from a practice standpoint, they're full speed every day. They love to be out on the field. They love getting up, going to the weight room. They love to come to practice. They practice hard. They don't take days off. They fight through injury. I mean, that's why you get the results that you get from guys like that because of their approach to what they're doing every day. So it just translates over to the games. I don't, I think we got a lot of guys like that, but I think those 2 guys epitomize what you really want in a player for your football team.
And the depth behind them.
Yeah, Ed McGee played again the other night. We carried the ball, caught a couple of passes. Marquise Williams played the other night. Lorenzo had another big play. J.J. Connor's playing. He's catching balls, and we're handing the ball off to him. So we're using everybody that we bring with us. We're putting them out there. And even Jocko Price, although he didn't contribute much offensively, he's a dynamic player for us on special teams from a punt and kickoff coverage standpoint. So like I said, we don't just travel guys just because we're nice guys. We travel them because they give us a chance to win. And our players recognize that there's no charity trips on there. We got to bring guys and dress out guys for our games. That's going to help us, give us a chance to win the game.
Always kind of looking for big plays. You guys had 3 of them here scoring plays, and I guess the biggest one to kind of get you guys going is the first play that you called.
Yeah, that was good.
How much does that help you guys when y'all are getting those, especially with the defense? Because I know you're looking for turnovers, but that turns into 6 for y'all too.
Yeah, I think it's hard to drive 17, 18 plays and eat up the clock and not have mistakes made. And it takes you out of the chain. So explosive plays are what that's what you're always looking for. We had 14 the other day, 10 in the pass game and 4 in the run game. Now for us, an explosive play is 18 yards or more in a pass, 12 yards or more in a run. We had 14 the other day. Now that's a great number. In fact, that tied the highest for us this season. And when you're doing things like that, you're taking chunks of the field and eliminating, we're scoring in 6 or 7 plays instead of having to go 12, 13, 14 plays. And when you do that, you eliminate penalties or mistakes or missed assignments where you got a chance to take negative yardage plays. I think it's critical. That's why we take shots. I think we got the personnel to take the shots that we can. And then we've also got, even we hit Coop out of the backfield the other day, and he turned it into a big gain. We hit Devontae out of the backfield. He turned it into a big gain. So even though you don't necessarily have to throw the ball deep down the field to get the big plays, when you have dynamic players, you just got to get the ball in their hands in the open field and let them go do something with it.
But you're giving up a lot of sacks this year, SFA. Is that because the quarterbacks involved in a little bit?
Yeah, I think they are. Just watching them, and I don't have everything on them yet, Robbie, but I think they're evolving. So they gave up a lot early, and then now everything's starting to slow down. When you watch the first 5 games or so, you see them trying to find an identity. The last 3, I think they found their identity on both sides of the football, and they're starting to become more consistent. Their receivers, I think, are really good. I think the guys that they got out there are as good as anybody we've played this year, any of the sets of receivers. It's just going to be – it's a growth process. They're going to grow up sometime along the way. I just don't want it to be this Saturday.
From a scheme standpoint, what's their defense like today?
They were the majority of the time coming into this game, they were a 3-down look and played some single high stuff. But the last 3 weeks, they were giving up a lot of rushing yardage. The last 3 weeks, they've gone to more even fronts, more quarters, which the safeties are more involved in the box, and they're shutting down the run. They're doing a better job stopping the run game. And that's what I'm talking about as far as where you see them settling in. I think they've identified as to what their personnel is, because sometimes it takes some time. It's a new staff coming in. You're evaluating guys as you go. I just went through it last year, and you're trying to find out which guys are committed and which guys really want to be there and which guys are, really supportive of what you're doing. So that you can see some players just starting to emerge, that are doing what they want them to do. So you'll see more of an even front, quarters, some man on the outside with the cornerbacks. But you'll see the safeties nose to the box. I think their linebackers are really active, athletic, run well. They're big in the middle. They're 300-pound plus, the 2 defensive tackles. So that allows them to help control some of that in the middle. They were giving up some big chunks of yardage early in the season, and they're not doing that anymore.
How does that kind of affect you guys and what you want to try to do?
We got to make sure we can handle the safeties in the run game. So we're trying to run the football. We got to make sure to get them because they're coming down. They're going to take advantage of that. And then we got to win on the outside. If we're going to throw it, if they're going to play us like that, we got to be able to win on the outside against their 2 corners. But a lot of that does come with protection too. They're going to some of their pressures a little bit different than what we've seen. There'll be some different pressures that they bring against us that we hadn't seen. So preparation this week from a protection standpoint is going to be big. I think if our quarterbacks play well, they'll be able to see it and recognize it and redirect the protection. But they do a good job disguising it. So it'll be interesting to see how the game unfolds, and how it plays out.
What are they doing well offensively?
I think they throw it to the receivers, getting it to the receivers. Their starting tailback, their leading rusher didn't play this past week. I'm not sure why, but we expect him back. But they get the ball to the receivers in space and then just let them go. So I thought Lamar has a really good football team. They went down into Beaumont and beat them there and really dominated the game. And I think that's when they started kind of getting an idea as to who they were.
Frank, is Mason out for the year?
Yes, Mike's. Yeah, he had ACL surgery last week, so he'll be done for the season. And then, so he's out.
And what about Deep Frere?
Who?
Juwan?
He's working every day. He's not out. We hadn't ruled him out. He's working every day trying to get him back, Tim. He'll be this week. We'll see how much he's progressed. He progressed last week where he's running and even doing some cutting, so we expect him to do a whole lot more this week. He's not even out for this week. We might be able to play him this week. We'll see.
Is it a need?
It's a need, yeah.
What's the importance of being back home this week?
Oh God, Blake. I mean, it's just, again, it's going back into a routine. You're going back, go back, go back. That's a little bit tough on a team, but when you're home, you got to, it just feels better. And even though we didn't play like that against UIW the last time we were here, there's a sense of security because you practice here all the time. You're familiar with the surroundings, the crowd's into it, and that's what I'm saying. We got the only game in town this week, so it's an opportunity for us to pack the stadium, get a great atmosphere, and really have a true home field advantage, which we've had all year long, and we just got to take advantage of that. But being at home I don't know, Dorothy said it. There's no place like home, you know, and I love it. I'm glad we're here.
Is this one of those games where, and in this conference, I know everybody kind of just beats up on each other. Is this one of those games where you look at the record and you say, we can't look past them, especially right now the way they've started to play last couple of weeks?
Yeah, you can't. There isn't anybody to look past. It's too much parity. Northwestern didn't win a game, and then they won this past week. Nichols got beat this. You look at our conference week in and week out, guys win. Nobody can pick the winners. You're thinking you can, but you can't. Nobody's looking past these guys. There's none of that stuff. We have expectations and we have standards that we have to uphold, and it doesn't matter the opponent. We have to play a certain way, and we've got to play similar to what we did this past week without some of the mistakes, and then continue to build on that. But it's got to start today in practice. We got to have a great week of practice and preparing for these guys, implement the game plan, and then move forward. But we need to practice well because we got to continue to grow. We got too many young guys who don't understand yet everything that is going to take place. So you can't look at a record and they can't look at a record and expect to understand how tough it's going to be out here on Saturday because it's college football, man. Anything can happen at any time.
Is there any kind of level of having to rein everybody back in coming off of a huge victory like that, maybe getting a little too confident?
No, we just had 2 losses, so no. There's no reining them in, man. There's a lot of stuff to correct, so we'll do that today. There'll be a bunch of things that we correct off of film and move forward. But it's just about growing. It's continuing to grow. Again, I don't want to ever overlook all the good things that we did the other day. But we did it. We got some corrections that we got to make. We're not looking and saying, oh, we've done all this already and it's good. We just came off of back-to-back losses in the conference, which put us in a hole. And now we got a chance to play out of it, and we got to be able to do that.
They were like second in the league in sacks. How big is your offensive line play to keep Jason and Cole from upright like that?
Yeah, we got to be able to do that, right? A lot of it's coming from pressures that they're bringing in different areas. So it's different types of pressures. And so we got to do a great job of that. And the quarterbacks are going to have to do a good job of recognizing rotations in the secondary to see where those guys are coming from. If we do that, we're going to be fine. We'll be able to get guys on guys, and then we'll get the ball out. But if we don't, they're going to have some free runners, and then that's where the problems come in, where now you're throwing a ball that you don't want to throw too soon instead of taking a sack, things like that, sack fumbles, all of those things. When you have free runners, that's where the issues come in, and that's what we got to make sure that those are some of the problems that they present, like you asked a while ago, defensively, with some of the pressure that they got a little bit different than what we've seen from different guys, whether it be a corner or safety. They do a good job disguising and bringing it, and we got to be able to adjust and adapt to it. Good? Awesome, guys. Thank y'all, man.